Welcome back to the Collegiate Live, the official podcast of GRCC student publication, The Collegiate. In today's episode, an update on GRCC's presidential search, the announcement of YouTube's new AI age verification tool, and gerrymandering in Texas and what it might mean for the midterms. Plus, a look into Uber's problem with sexual assault allegations. And a tier list of community college league sports team logos. If you have a topic you want covered on the show or a question you want answered by one of our hosts on air, send it our way by going to thecollegiatelive.com/podcast. Earlier this summer, Grand Rapids Community College announced that they were beginning the search for their new permanent president, with Dr. Stephen Triesenberg filling in for the summer as interim president. Now that we're further into the summer, the school's released more information on what the search will entail, and news editor Ava West shares some of that.
On May 19, the Board of Trustees announced that they had hired Academic Search, so I then reached out to, I sent in a FOIA request, Freedom of Information Act, to see the contract between Academic Search and GRCC.
Sure.
And then I reached out to GRCC Board of Trustees Chairperson Brandy Lovelady Mitchell, and who is heading the search on the GRCC side, and also to Shirley Robinson Pippins, who is heading the search on the Academic Search side of things. The contract noted that the professional services fee will be $63,000 or around there, paid in 3 installments, and which is actually not that much different from the search that happened 3 years ago. That was $51,000.
Okay.
But you know, it's been 3 years, and that's not that different. And so I also covered a couple different stipulations that I thought were interesting. The Academic Search will conduct either an extended search or a second search to be launched within 12 months of the date of contract without charge, except for expenses and an administrative fee of $10,000. This one was really interesting to me. They noted that in the event Grand Rapids Community College chooses to hire candidates from amongst the applicants or candidates within 12 months of posting for any other positions which are not subject to this agreement, Grand Rapids Community College shall pay Academic Search a fee for additional person hired at rate of 25% of the first year's annual base salary at the time of hire. So even if they hire them for a job other than the presidential
right.
position, Academic Search will still get part of the pay.
Because they were the one that introduced the applicant to the code.
Okay. Yes. Although current GRCC employees are exempt from that because,
They already work here.
Yes, they already work here.
Yeah.
And then, so as I mentioned previously, I did reach out to Brandy Lovelady Mitchell and Shirley Robinson Pippins, just asking what they're looking for in this presidential search. And we had a fairly quick turnover rate. 3 years is not that long to have a president.
Right.
So I also asked about that. So Mitchell stated in an email to the Collegiate that a typical presidential search begins with a selection of a professional search firm. So obviously they picked Academic Search. And then the board will then establish a presidential screening community, which includes representation from across the college, including faculty, staff, students, and community members. A presidential profile would be created, which outlines the qualities, experiences, and leadership attributes the Board of Trustees and colleges seek in the next GRCC president. A timeline and selection process are then put in place to identify, interview, and evaluate finalists, ultimately leading to the board's selection of the next president. So in the contract, it says 12 months for them to find proper candidates and follow through with finalist interviews. And actually students are allowed to attend those interviews. Okay. So both Brandy Lovelady Mitchell and Shirley Pippins suggested that if students have input, then they should definitely attend those interviews. Beyond that, there will be a interview specifically for with students about what they're looking for in a president.
Okay.
Which will be taking place 12 p.m. on August 28th. So if you want to attend, it's there. And also important to note the website that has been created for the search. It currently houses the names of members of the screening committee, an overview of the timeline for the search, and a list of frequently asked questions. As the search progresses, additional messages from the screening committee chairs will be posted to this site, as well as the final search profile once the search has officially been launched. So for those interested about the presidential search, my story is up, and so is the website that can answer your questions, and you can also email the actual committee at presidentialsearch@grcc.edu.
Additionally, YouTube has made headlines recently with its decision to implement an AI age verification algorithm. So basically, when you use a YouTube account, you have to give them your age. You have to tell them what age you are. And if you're under 13, I believe is the cutoff, certain features will be turned off, like comments or the ability to share videos to a playlist. And specifically, advertising is different depending on if you're a minor. There is a YouTube Kids app you're supposed to use if you're in that age group. Otherwise, if a video is made for kids, it can still show up on the main YouTube page, but it will have certain features disabled. But it's really easy to lie about your age and say you're a different age than you are. And so YouTube is introducing an AI algorithm that will use, I guess, like your activity to verify that you are the age you say you are. And if you're not, they will automatically turn off any features that they deem necessary, which is all well and good, assuming they're correct. They might not be. So the biggest problem with this is that YouTube has done a thing like this before. Several years ago, at this point, they were threatened with a lawsuit for serving targeted ads, that's ads based on your watch history, to minors who were not legally allowed to see them. And so now, anytime you upload a video to YouTube, you have to mark your video as not made for kids. And if you mark your video as not made for kids, but then YouTube still sees that it is made for kids through their AI algorithm, it will disable the features automatically. Jamie, I know you had some experiences where sometimes that AI is wrong.
They marketed South Park as for kids, and correct me if I'm wrong, didn't they have this, weren't they using AI to try to monitor this, and this is how we ended up with ElsaGate?
Yes. Yeah. So the problem is the rules for what counted as kids content was very flimsy.
It was
just
Wild
it was
West.
cartoons, which means that things like
Drawn Together, Family Guy.
cartoons made for a non-child audience were still being marked as this. Things that included sometimes video essays about cartoons would be counted. There were things like features characters, but not necessarily for the same audience. So there were it features Elsa, and Elsa's a cartoon kids character, but not necessarily everything.
Videos
Someone
of
in an Elsa
SpongeBob
costume
murdering Patrick, that kind of stuff. So kids were seeing things children shouldn't be seeing.
In essence, their AI was really not good at actually figuring out what was for kids and what wasn't. And when their AI was considered a better judge than what the video uploader self-reported, that got into some problems. And the concern here is that if you give them your age and you are accurate about it, but their AI decides that you are a different age and automatically shuts down features for you, that could be kind of a problem.
And not just for viewers and users, but it could also be a problem for the actual database, because if you don't have viewers, what do you have?
Right. Yeah. So it's
Monetization. YouTubers are going to be mad because it's like, where's my money, man?
And that's what happened when they tried to make a better distinction between kids content and non-kids content, is that a lot of people who made content that was child-friendly, but not for kids. I mean, if it was talking about cartoons, if it was just a video that we're talking about something that could have been seen by any audiences, that was marked as kids content. And so you're seeing, people that are talking about Disney products or people that are talking about theme parks or cartoons, their monetization, and they ended up changing this rule a little bit, but their monetization would have gone, completely down. And so there were people that were saying, like, listen, I've been doing this as my full-time job for decades, but I don't think I'm going to be able to anymore because I'm not going to be able to afford it because they're turning off a lot of my monetization incorrectly. And that was a serious problem. A potentially larger problem is that in order to appeal this AI age verification, a report from The Guardian suggests that users might have to upload a copy of their ID or a facial recognition scan.
Which creates new problems, because how long until someone manages to hack in and then bing, bang, boom, they got all your information.
So YouTube already collects a lot of your demographic information, your age, your
Brother's
gender,
watching.
your race, the place you live. It has your watch history, which tells a lot about what you are. And that's what advertisers use to create targeted ads, is they look at the kinds of content you're watching, the age demographic you're in, and the ads they're showing to other people in that age demographic. That's why the ads you get on YouTube are sometimes very specific, is because they know a lot about you. And if they also have your ID and your face, and if someone gets to steal that information, information, or even if you give it to one of the largest companies in the world, I find it hard to believe that YouTube and YouTube's parent company, Google, won't do anything with that information at any time.
Yeah.
To be fair, we were warned Big Brother is watching.
Big Brother's watching and has your face.
They have your face.
Well, it's
they
also
have
interesting
your ID.
because how accurate can AI be about telling your age? Because, like...
Often
nothing
not.
good
Yeah.
ever comes from AI. Nothing good comes from AI. Sorry, I'm a writer, so I naturally hate AI. We're natural enemies.
Yes, I agree. And there is a difference between generative AI, which is what a lot of artists are complaining about, that takes copyrighted content and aggregates it into a database and then creates new works out of it. If you're listening on the audio version, I made air quotes because it's not really new work, but creates a different work based on that material. It sounds like what this algorithm would be is not generative. It would just be processing data. So it wouldn't be making anything. It would just be sort of sorting things, and it would be using machine learning, but it wouldn't be making anything. But the problem is AI, regardless of the format,
Is stupid.
is very wrong. I mean, if you ask
It messes-
ChatGPT how many O's are in the word Ohio, it'll tell you there's 4. I've seen examples of, people ask ChatGPT something like a yes or no question, and it will say yes and then explain why it's yes, and in doing so, we'll realize that the answer is actually no. So is that really what we want one of the biggest companies in the world to be using? To say, actually, we think you're lying about your age, which, to be fair, some people are, but many people are not.
I give it 5 minutes, maybe if we're lucky, a day before someone figures out how to circumvent it. And next thing you know, everyone's circumventing it. It was like Facebook, where when I was in middle school, there was an age limit of how, you had to be a certain age to use it.
Yeah.
Everyone figured out how to circumvent it.
Right.
It's going to be the same with YouTube. What were you going to say, Ava?
I was just going to say that I appreciate that YouTube doesn't want to have lawsuits, but at a certain point, it is also parent and guardians'
Right.
responsibility to monitor
watch
what
your
their
blasted kids,
kids are viewing,
Yeah.
and maybe kids shouldn't even be on YouTube
There
to
is-
a certain point.
There's
I mean,
YouTube
there's
Kids app for that.
right. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
yeah.
the problem is that kids aren't using that when they
Yes,
should
yeah.
be. But instead of, they can't really solve that at the source, so they have to do this kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
Maybe don't let an app or a tablet babysit your kids or raise your kids. Maybe do that yourself. Just saying, wild concept. I know, but just maybe watch your kids, raise them yourselves,
This is similar to what happened with the kids content ruling, and that was because they were under a lawsuit, and they were going to be facing a lot of money if they didn't put this rule in. And specifically, advertisers were worried about their future on the platform. YouTube has consistently shown itself to be a platform that's ruled by their advertisers and the amount of money they have to spend. And that's why I'm concerned about, not only are you giving this company your face, but it's hard to believe, for me at least, that if they have your face and your ID, they won't find some way to turn that into advertising data.
Yep.
Because your ID has, I imagine, some more things about you than
It's about
YouTube
money
does.
with everything,
It's a potential privacy and safety concern because YouTube hasn't announced, are they planning to store these? What is their, is it a...
Nothing.
If you submit this material for appeal, is there AI going to look at it again? In which case, how can we confirm it's correct? Is there a person looking at it? Where does it go afterwards? Does it get stored? How do you send it? Is it through email? Sending your ID through email is probably not a good idea. Is there a secure? There's all these questions, and the process will start on August 13th. Through it's going to a trial through a lot of users, much like every YouTube feature is. So we have some time before it becomes a wide thing. It might not become a wide thing. A lot of features are tested and then never get fully implemented, but there are a lot of questions that we don't have the answer to yet that might be concerning.
The whole thing just seems like a horrible idea. Trusting AI to do anything like this just seems like a bad move. As someone who's used ChatGPT just as a joke, the thing can't be trusted for something this widespread.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's like asking your doofus brother to drive you home in your brand new Ferrari. It's gonna crash.
In the race for political power, many lawmakers are turning to a process known as gerrymandering, which is a process of redistricting a certain area and drawing the lines in a specific way that will get their political party more votes. There are ways to draw the lines so that regardless of the actual makeup of the population, a certain party can get more votes than they would have if they had drawn the lines differently. The process is very highly contested normally, but especially with the current political climate and the upcoming midterms, the process has been heating up.
Yeah, so we have gerrymandering in Texas going on. Yeah, so basically gerrymandering is exactly what you just said. And it all started because Donald Trump wanted more or less control over the state because, midterms are coming up.
Yeah.
And I guess he's feeling the heat. And, so they were trying to redraw up the district. So you had a bunch of the Democrats try to flee. Because if they're not there for the vote, then they can't do it. And chaos ensued.
Sure. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah. Because I know that several of the Democrats spent time in Chicago to get away from this area, which is a decent amount of place to travel, but yet the trouble followed them.
Oh, you have no idea. The governor of Texas basically said it's the most un-Texan thing to do. Their hotel, the hotel they're staying in, had a bomb threat called into it. Jolanda Jones, one of the Democrats, basically compared what's going on there to the Holocaust. And so basically everything's gone to hell.
I also know Governor Abbott, just a couple hours ago, about 14 hours ago when we were recording this, asked the Texas Supreme Court to remove one of the Democrats from office over this move, which is not unusual in this era of politicians being removed from office over partisan issues. Trump just did a similar thing over the jobs report that came out, but is unusual if you look at sort of overall a governor asking the state Supreme Court to remove somebody over a move like this. It's none of this is particularly new, but all of it happening like this is very unexpected.
Nothing surprises me anymore. Like we could literally have a UFO crash down from the sky.
Allegedly.
Crash down from the sky right into the middle of just outside of GRCC, and I would just shrug and be like, because everything that's happened, I'm just completely desensitized at this point, it's like everything's gone to heck, but, it's like you have Trump now, he's basically wants the Democrats arrested.
One of the representatives, when asked, actually said, I've had some of these filed on me before, and said he would add it to his list, which is an odd reaction to having an arrest warrant, but I guess if you're used to it, neither side is backing down.
I'm confused. Is it actually an official crime, like to just, because isn't this like the equivalent of just not showing up for work? Like, I don't know. I'm not a politician. I might be wrong about this.
I haven't heard of something like this happening before, of people. I mean, I know that oftentimes, the Senate will close before a vote happens. So things like this aren't new. I've never heard of people literally fleeing the state so they are not present for the vote. But I also haven't heard of specifically a gerrymander vote. This is a very highly contentious move that will likely affect a lot of things moving forward, while also being a pretty small move in the moment. Like, it's not a very big thing to gerrymander one state, but in the context of everything that's going on, it's a big deal. So I think that's where you're getting. It's like
grand scheme.
It's just a very specific situation.
Yeah, it's got really heated really fast.
Yeah.
Like, it's boiling nuclear, actually.
And it's been, a couple of days since this whole thing. I mean, they've been working on this process for a while, but since they left, it was only a couple of days ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I heard about it like a couple of days ago, and it's like, oof,
Yeah. But that is sort of the tension that is in a lot of political actions right now.
Yeah.
Is there's very little in politics that doesn't have that kind of energy in it.
Yeah.
Because everything that happens right now has potential consequences for the rest of everything else going on.
Everything line in the sand.
And the midterms are coming up, and midterms are going to be very decisive for whether this administration keeps their power and all the people that are supporting it.
Or whether or not they're basically defanged, detoothed,
right.
whatever. Pick an analogy.
Yeah. It's
accurate.
gerrymandering is not new. Fights over gerrymandering are not new.
Oh yeah,
but this
we had a
kind of
fight.
it.
I remember we had a fight way back in the day, and the very collegiate offices over whether or not gerrymandering should be a thing. You know, it's been around for years. You know,
Yeah.
it's been hotly contested. You know, Adam Ruins Everything, the show, did an episode about it.
Okay.
You know, personally, I think it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's basically a way for politicians to screw with the opposing side and maintain their own fragile grasp on power, you know? But it's something they do. It's a trick in their arsenal, you know, a way to hold their grasp.
Yeah. And with a moment like this where one state's gerrymandering could be so but genuinely consequential to a lot of other things, we'll have to see how exactly this unfolds, because so far it has been complicated. On August 6th, New York Times reporter Emily Steele reported on Uber's long-standing problems with sexual assault allegations and the things they have and haven't shared. The Collegiate staff discusses how we got here and what it might mean moving forward. For years, Uber has been downplaying the amount that it's had. They haven't been ignoring it entirely. In fact, I'm reading a lot of this information from a New York Times article that just came out this morning on the Wednesday we're recording this, called Uber's Festering Sexual Assault Problem in, I believe, let me pull this up here.
I just remember when I was in high school, everyone used to joke about how shady Uber was. Like, my friend used to always joke it was a prerequisite to work at Uber that you had to have a criminal record. So everyone always knew something was off there. But this is just like, oh my God.
This is far from the beginning of their controversy. In 2017, their co-founder had to step down due to his own workplace sexual harassment allegations, and then he was replaced in 2019. And when he was replaced, the new CEO came in and said he wanted to clean up the company. He
failed.
Wanted to clean up the tech bro image and promised a new era of transparency, integrity, and accountability. Quote, "We do the right thing, period." Uber had self-reported, disclosed 12,522 accounts of serious sexual assaults between 2017 and 2022. We now know that there were a total of 400,181. Now, that is not necessarily that they were lying. That doesn't mean that that's the difference between serious and non-serious. But that distinction, how significant is it in this situation? Hard to say. Uber's head of safety has released a statement saying that there is no tolerable level of sexual assault, which does come at a bit of a counter argument to an internal document that was released as part of this. In 2021, there was a brainstorming document about Uber safety standards, and it said, quote, "Our purpose or goal is not to be the police. Our bar is much lower, and our goal is to protect the company and set the tolerable risk level for our operations." So there is a tolerable risk level, but there's no, so
he's telling the public one thing, and then they're telling themselves something else.
it seems like that is the case.
Typical two-faced company, it would seem.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that a lot of people expect companies to be saying behind closed doors, but seeing the
it
specificity in which they said it is very troubling.
Yeah.
Indeed.
They also covered a specific story in that article about a woman that was picked up for a 22-minute ride and ended up at the Uber driver's motel.
So she got in an Uber at 8:53 p.m. for a ride that would have taken 20 minutes. The driver didn't mark the ride as complete until 2:01 a.m. Now, Uber figured out that something was wrong and sent 2 different text messages and 1 robocall to the passenger, which he didn't pick up to any of them. She woke up in the Uber driver's motel. Now, that driver was banned immediately, but had 2 previous incidents of a lower variety. But still, Uber drivers have to be vetted in order to be in the database. But the question is, what is that vetting process if 400,000 sexual assaults are still happening in the span of 5 years?
Wait, you said they have to be vetted, and he had 2 previous reports.
So what exactly is their process?
Yeah, what vetting are we talking about? Did they just go in his report and say, okay, you haven't killed anyone, you're hired? Like,
I'd be interested to see
What
what
is-
their distinction between serious and non-serious is. If he had
Right.
two
Yeah.
accounts of non-serious sexual assault, that's their language, and then this counted as I don't know exactly what it is. I'm assuming it is the language of their policy, but what
This
is
is-
that policy?
This is
Yeah.
madness.
It also interesting to me that they even like noted that most of the victims are women.
Right.
But it was also interesting to me that they noted that some of them were even drivers,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah,
really disheartening too.
the
Because it's
dynamic
like,
between a rider and the driver is not what a lot of people think about, but is
I mean, if you're the driver, I mean, you're at a vulnerable position. I mean, you're in the front, and the passenger, not to be grim, has a distinct vantage point.
and as college students, we're told pretty frequently if we're going to be drinking or participating in
Get
other,
Uber.
yeah,
Get a new
Yeah, I mean, that is what Uber has served two main purposes: was to fill in for taxi services in cities that didn't have taxis or public transportation,
Yep.
but also to be the designated driver for a group that didn't want to designate one,
Yeah.
to be able to pick up people that are drunk, and that is when a lot of these incidents happen.
Yeah.
Is when people are under the influence of anything and are trying to be responsible, and in doing so get caught in danger that they could not
Yes.
have possibly prepared for, especially because these
And
drivers
they've
are
made it
supposedly
worse.
vetted. They have a star rating. They have a number of
Yeah.
rides. They have reviews. The entire system is built to make people feel safe and to reassure people that you're not just getting in a car with a stranger. But this report says maybe
Yeah.
it's worse. Lyft, their main competitor to Uber, self-reported the statistics from 2020 to 2022 and said that during in the 2017 to 2019 period, they had over 4,000 reports. And then between 2020 and 2022, they had 2,000, which was a drop. But still, 2,000 is a lot. And when those two companies have a lot of the market, there's not really an alternative to using them. So,
Yeah.
Didn't you also say that there's a statistic like every 8 minutes somebody was?
pull that out.
That's insane. How many rides do they average a year?
Well, Lyft put in their report that less than 1% of riders or passengers
Okay.
would be experiencing any
Yeah.
type of sexual misconduct.
Yeah, Lyft does not have the same level of reports that Uber does.
Yeah.
Right.
But it could also
theirs
just
was about
be-
1%. But
Be
Uber also-
popularity
Uber also has
or
more drivers.
yes.
So
Yeah.
Uber is still the large, and it depends on exactly the population density of your city and where you are. But Uber is a bigger company, and so it seems like that effect has sort of multiplied with the size of the company. According to these statistics, there were 9.4 billion trips from Uber every year in 2025, as of 2025. So, the 400,000, which is not in 2025, so these are from different years, but 400,000 out of 9.4 billion is still not a high percentage point, but
It's still
is a high
lot.
number.
Yeah, it's a high number. Yeah.
And the fact that Uber was putting themselves out as this sort of very publicly facing safe company. They even just introduced, I had seen Uber for teens, where a parent could connect their teen to their account, and so teens could book rides
Yeah.
through their parents' accounts. As you know, if like you're in middle school and you need a ride somewhere and your parents can't take you, or like this is a helpful service. But not if Uber has all these problems, because unfortunately,
Right.
these problems are not restricted to people that are over the age of 18. So, if they're promoting themselves as a safe and friendly company that you can put your children in without supervision, meanwhile all this is happening,
Yeah.
they've been hiding a lot of information.
Yeah.
Clearly.
And they're also not not vetting them enough, because if
Clearly.
this man was a repeat offender and had almost like custody of a woman for 5 hours.
And it's got to make you wonder. I mean, they've been dealing with these problems for a decade now, and in 2019 they said they were going to fix it, and then it got worse. Over time. So it's what have they been doing? They've been playing with this since 2017. How much work could they have done? Was it really worse than this in 2017, or has it gotten like how much progress have you been making? If your current number is at 400,000 and you have a report every 8 minutes.
Yeah, I wish they'd kind of release the stuff from when they first said that they're gonna change it, change the way they are.
Yeah,
quote unquote.
but this is also not Uber releasing anything. This is the
Right.
New York Times taking it into their own hands.
Yeah.
Probably they're
Dubs.
doing the equivalent of bending their arms behind their back and kind of forcing it out.
Yeah, so Lyft had reported a 21% decrease in the amount of reports between the 2017-2019 and the 2020-2022 time stretches. It's unclear what that amount of change was for Uber. So, and it's hard to say what, and that was 3 years ago. 2022 was 3 years ago. So, it's hard to say what kind of progress Uber has made up until this point, or has made sense to this point, but clearly they're not vetting the drivers enough. Clearly their strategies for fixing this problem aren't doing enough, because if their main target audience is people that can't drive and people that aren't able to drive, and those people are trying to be responsible and are getting themselves in dangerous
Right.
situations, and they don't have an alternative because a lot of places in the U.S. don't have public transportation or taxi services, I don't know how to move forward here, because I don't believe that saying, well, just trust that you'll get a good Uber driver. I mean, I take an Uber pretty frequently. I've had good experiences, but that's not what everyone has had.
Right.
And you can't, it even makes me worried. Like, all right, who's to say that my next Uber driver is going to be a
Yeah,
problem?
it's like what do you do? Arm yourselves, like don't drink out and about. Like what do you do here? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like there's no real solution here. That's
Well, no real solution that involves Uber, I would say. If
Right.
Right.
people are going to drink or participate in other
Things.
inebriated activities, you can, go in groups.
Yeah.
One, main, have a designated driver, or call somebody that you do know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even if it's
I'm one of the, I always like make sure my friends know if they're out drinking and stuff like that and they need a ride home. Just no matter what time it is, just call me.
Yeah.
I'll come pick
Yeah.
you up because I don't trust other people.
yeah.
Yeah, it will take a long time if
what about people who don't have friends or anything like that though?
and
Yeah.
that is the problem. Is that
Yeah.
there is a portion of Uber's audience that doesn't have the ability to have someone else pick them up and can't drive themselves or isn't able to after drinking.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a while if there's going to be another company that, because Lyft is statistically better than Uber, but still as 2000 as of 2022. And it will take a while if there's going to be a company that comes in to
Right.
take that market share. It's not going to happen immediately. There are other companies that do it, but they don't have the spread, especially with something like this. The drivers are contractors, so they're not employees, so they are where they are. And it's a fluctuating number depending on how many are living in that city. So it's going to be a while until another company comes in to try to solve this problem. And in the meantime, there are going to be a lot of people without options that
Yeah.
are safe.
Yeah. And obviously, walking home is not a
Right.
reliable
not-
option
it's
either.
not-
yeah, it's
not
That's
super
not
safe either.
No.
So
And the safest, I guess the safest option is to just easier said than done, not get drunk when you go out in public. Know
Yeah.
your tolerance.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's easy to just forget.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So as far as I know, Uber hasn't commented on this article yet. It was just posted a couple hours ago as of when we're recording this. So it remains to be seen what Uber will say, if they'll pledge to make any changes, if those changes will mean anything, how Lyft's market share will be affected by this. A lot could happen in the wake of this report. It's also possible that nothing happens. But I guess it remains to be seen. And finally, sports writers Jack Walker and Jerry Tobiasen rank different logos from community college league sports teams until they can find the winner.
Dude, this is gonna be a fun one.
Should be a good one. There's some
I
schools.
love this. There's some pretty. So we've got some pretty. So we have all of the
8
ones,
schools.
Yep, all the 8 schools in our division for the community college conference, and then we have 3 honorable mentions that are from different divisions, but we thought we needed to put on there because they are just
They're really good.
that good.
So we have our rating system was pretty simple, just name plus logo, and you get a ranking out
You
of
get a
10.
ranking,
So we have 8 through 1 listed here. Should we start?
We start with number 8.
Okay, this is not meant to be a dig at the school, but St. Clair Community College. It's not the greatest logo I've ever seen.
No, it's not.
It's quite bland. Can
SC4. So they say St. Clair Community College, but it's St. Clair County Community College, and the logo is the SC4, And literally the only reason why it's C4 is because of the 4 C's in the Clare Community College. It's the most, and also the logo or team name is the Skippers,
which I don't know.
We have no
what-
idea what that means.
I know baseball managers sometimes are referred to as a skipper. I don't think that's what they're going for.
No,
I don't
I
know
don't-
what the skippers are. The
Yeah.
people who skip around. I don't know. Because of the 4 featured in their logo, we decided to go with a 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
We maybe could have been harsher, but
I feel like we definitely could
it's
have.
a logo that could be revamped. It could be changed.
Oh,
no offense to
1000%.
them. I've seen better.
Maybe like find a way to get the right to skips from the regular show.
Yeah,
that'd be your,
that would be great.
That'd be your
That'd be
logo,
great.
you know.
So number 7, we have Alpena Community College. Now, their logo is also very bland. It just
Right.
says ACC.
Right. It's not the. It's basically the same thing as St. Clair Community College, but the reason why we put it a rating above the St. Clair Community College is because of the fact that their team name is the Lumberjacks,
Which is it's a good name.
it's a good name.
It's a good name.
It's a good name.
I know Stephen F. Austin is the Lumberjacks. That's the only school I can think of. So it's a unique nickname. It's a good one. They're in Northern Michigan. When you think Northern Michigan, Lumberjacks, if you
Yeah.
get down the list, they can cross your mind.
Yep.
So I think Lumberjacks is a solid name. The logo, however, is not great. If they had an actual logo of a lumberjack,
Right.
they would be probably in the
They-
top 3.
Yeah, top 3
But
for sure. But
Unfortunately, they just have ACC. So for that reason,
they need to revamp the logo.
just gets a 5 out of 10.
Yep.
Sorry, Alpena.
Yeah.
Now, number 6 on the list. This one hits close to home.
Yeah.
This
sorry.
is GRCC Raiders. Now
Also
the name,
5 out of 10.
yeah, the name the Raiders is not bad. It's
not
It's
bad.
not a bad name. It's the logo.
Yeah,
it's just bland.
It's
bland.
basically the same thing as Alpena Community College. We like the Raiders as the team name. The logo is literally just GRCC.
Now we should make a disclaimer. This is in no way to offend any of the artists that
Yes.
made this. They're good people.
Yes.
But I don't know, when it's a logo that just has like the letters, the word that just
Right.
spells the word, I don't really.
And I know, because we've talked about this before, that we are planning, like GRCC is planning on revamping
Yes.
the mascot. So
Yes.
I don't know if that comes with a logo change too, or if it's just the mascot change. So we'll find out about that in the coming future.
They have a chance to move up the list. They do.
Yeah, they
have
have
a
that chance. Yeah, so they're sitting at number 6, right above Alpena Community College with the same mindset
We gave them, I think, a boost over Alpena
because they're home.
Well, we had to be biased. Plus, they have GRCC Raiders, as their logo, whereas Alpena just says ACC.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a bit more thought in the GRCC.
I know, and I do gotta say, I like going back to the ACC real quick. If you look closely, you could definitely see it. It is like the outline is a ham or
which is
axe
good,
head,
but
yeah,
Yeah. So number 5, we have Marion University and Scylla, the Chargers.
the Chargers.
It's a solid logo.
Yeah,
It's solid.
I like the logo.
They have
the
a
logo is slick.
lightning bolt. It's a solid logo. It does the job. It does the
Yes.
job. So we gave them a 6.5 out of 10. I think that's fair. I think that's
It
fair.
is,
The
it is.
Chargers.
There's not much to be upset about it.
No,
Like
it's a
dig
good
it.
logo.
It's
Does
not
the
too
job.
not too great. It's right there.
Does the job.
Yeah.
Number
It's
4.
just passing.
Yeah. Number 4, we have Jackson College. Now, Jackson College, they are the Jets, which is a solid
Yes.
name. Now, theirs, if you just look at it, it just says Jets. But if you look close enough, you can see there's an actual jet,
Yeah.
an airplane circling around
I
the
just
logo.
personally don't like the color scheme.
The color scheme could be changed,
That
but
was my biggest dig on it. is
I
the
would
color
say
scheme.
the logo is clean though.
I
with the-
like the one word.
Yeah.
Jets.
and just
quick.
The airplane flying around the logo has the trail. It's
Yup.
cool. It's cool. I think Jackson College did a good job. Again, color scheme, not my favorite.
no.
It's not my favorite.
The maroon,
Maroon
and
and yellow is
No.
not great, but I would say it's a solid logo.
It's
If they
a
could maybe
solid.
change the colors, I think they could get a bump in the rating. I
Oh,
don't know.
1000%.
So number 3, Lake Michigan College. We have the Red Hawks.
The Red Hawks.
Now,
I love this logo.
This is a solid logo. The Red Hawks is a unique name too. You don't see
It is.
you don't hear Red Hawks too often.
Nope.
It's just a nice logo. It's got the hawk there. There's no words that just spell out their none of
Exactly.
that. actual
You
drawing.
you just got like the Red Hawks above the actual Red Hawk
Right,
itself.
which is what you should do. You know,
Exactly.
it's a clean logo. No complaints. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 for sure.
8 out of 10.
For sure.
Now we get into our top 2, and this was a tough
This
decision.
was a really tough one.
Both logos I think are pretty good, and I think you can make the case for either one. Now, our deciding one was we thought number 1's name was more unique than number 2.
Yes.
Which gave them a little bit of a bonus. I think the actual logo itself, I don't think they're too.
They're not
They're
much
pretty
different. They're pretty good.
They're pretty.
They're
even.
both really good logos. So number 2.
We got Muskegon Community College, the
Jayhawks.
Jayhawks. Now, again, part of the reason is Jayhawks. You hear it sometimes, like Kansas. I go to Kansas University. It's a name you hear.
It's a more common name.
It's a more common, which is not their fault. They have a good logo.
Name.
It's a good logo.
It's a good name. It's a great logo. I love their logo. But
we decided to go. 8.
I love the color
Yeah,
scheme.
it's a good color scheme.
It's a really good color scheme.
We decided to go 8.5 out of 10. Honestly, we probably could have done a 9, but we wanted to differentiate.
Yeah, we
1
wanted
and 2.
Yeah. And we didn't think that the number one team was deserving of a 10 out of 10.
No, not 10 out, but it's still really good.
Yes.
And that school is, I think, out of Livonia, Schoolcraft College.
Yeah, the Ocelots.
The Ocelots.
How often do you hear the Ocelots as a team name?
That's not a thing you hear often. The Ocelots.
Not at all. And that's the biggest reason why we gave it the number 1. And the logo, it looks
It's
good.
a
The
clean
color
logo.
scheme is amazing.
Good color
They did
scheme.
a really good job.
See, when I was doing the research for this and I saw their logo, I just assumed, it'd be like the Tigers or something.
Right.
Ocelots.
Yeah, we looked it up. It's the Ocelots. I was like, oh, that's
Easy
immediately
bonus
number
points.
1.
Easy bonus
Dude,
points.
so unique. I
Well
love
done,
it.
Schoolcraft College.
Yeah. Do not change your logo.
I
at all.
applaud what you guys have done.
Exactly.
Now, so that was just the division, but there's other schools in
Yeah.
the MCCAA that we had to give a little bit of. We had to shine some light on their logos. So one of the schools mentioned, Montcalm Community College, the Centurions. Great name.
Centurions. I love
Great
their
name.
logo. I love
Like
their
a-
color scheme.
Got it like a Spartan logo going
Yep.
on. Good color scheme. Unique. They could have just gone with Spartans.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have been as unique.
But Centurions
Centurions is great.
I love it.
That's a great name.
Dude,
That's
I
a
love
great
it.
name.
It's unique. It's like it gives me the same vibe as like the Ocelots do.
Exactly. They could have taken the cheap way out and just
You've
gone
gone-
and do some basic name. They didn't. They went for it.
They wanted to be
and
different.
they did well. So good job, Montcalm. We have 2 10 out of 10s, which
Yeah.
we don't grade easily. We
No, we
don't
do
grade
not.
easily. 10 out of 10, we don't just hand it out. You got to earn the 10
Yeah,
out of 10.
it's just when we saw these, we're like, "There's no way this isn't a 10 out of 10."
So let's go next one. Delta Community College Ducks. Great.
Ducks.
Now the Ducks, you can argue, there's teams with the Ducks.
Yes.
Oregon comes to mind.
Yep.
There are
The
Duck
Ducks
schools.
is a semi-common.
But this logo
our team
is
name.
it's just beautiful. This
It's
is
the cartoony of the
the
duck.
cartoon. It kind of reminds me
I like
of
the colors.
a green daffy in
Yeah.
a way. Just a great duck. The eyebrows,
Dude, the eyebrows are amazing.
And even the spelling of how the
Delta.
font they used for Delta College,
Yeah.
very clean. It's a good color scheme. I have nothing bad to say about.
Yeah,
And
whoever did this did a really
very
good job.
good job. I like the cartoon.
And I hope they never change.
No.
Yeah, exactly. I love
Gotta
the cartoony part
keep
of
it.
it. You
Gotta
gotta
keep
keep it. So that's the biggest reason why we gave it out, and also just ducks. I love the team name of ducks.
Yep. And our other 10 out of 10 list, which I personally think probably the best logo in the
Oh
conference.
yeah,
belongs to Southwestern Michigan College, the Roadrunners.
the Roadrunners.
What a
Dude,
great
I
name.
always love Roadrunners.
What a good name.
Roadrunners amazing.
I think UTSA is the Roadrunners.
I think it is UTSA.
Yeah, but this logo, I mean, just clean. And if they didn't include the Roadrunner on the logo, it would be
Dude,
it'd be a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly.
But the Roadrunner, the art, the 1 foot's on the S, 1 foot's on the C.
Like it's just
It's great.
like if you like pay attention to the detail. I mean, you got the eyes. There's like the yellow on the eyes. It's just really good detail on the Roadrunner.
Really good logo. Roadrunner's a good name too. Reminds me of Looney Tunes again. I guess I said Daffy last time. Got Roadrunner this time. I mean, just great. It's a great logo. No complaints.
No.
Well done. Whoever the artist was,
They did amazing.
great job.
Can
great
you do
job.
ours? Like
I don't know. We might need, I don't know. Maybe we change the name to another Looney Tunes character.
I don't think we need to change our name.
Wile E.
We just-
Coyote or something.
Yeah, right.
That'd be pretty
The
cool.
Coyotes.
The
GRCC
Coyotes.
Coyotes.
That could
I
be
like
cool.
that.
So that is our top 8 plus 3 honorable mentions from the conference. At the end of the day, they're all
Yeah, they're all good,
They're all-
guys.
they're all good in their own rights.
Yes.
No
Ish.
disrespect to anyone who
Yes.
maybe thought their rating was not that high. But yeah, that is our official ranking of the MCCAA conference.
And please, St. Clair Community College, can you please
Just change it, please.
tell us what the Skippers is?
I want to know what that is.
We want to know.
I want to know what that is.
Like, I have no idea what it is.
Couldn't tell you.
Honestly.
I guess it's someone who skips. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe.
The Collegiate Live is the official podcast of GRCC student publication The Collegiate. For more information or to submit a question to be read on air, go to thecollegiatelive.com/podcast.